Now more than ever, the time-tested principles of time management are in demand. We live in an on-demand world with increasing stress, hectic work weeks, and high-performance expectations. Finding balance can easily become a low priority. Our speaker today also knows what it means to be busy. She is the author of 3 self-published books, a professional speaker, a wife, a volunteer for the American Diabetes Association and the American Cancer Society. She does all this on top of a 40-hour week at the office. Her presentation today, What's Stopping Me, is just a small sampling of the vast subject of time management and personal effectiveness. Please help me welcome Mary Comfort. What's stopping me? What's stopping me? Mary Comfort.
Think big. If you could go anywhere and do anything, what would you do? I encourage you now to write down the answer to that question. Friends and fellow dreamers, we all have dreams. So the tough question really is, what's stopping me? So think about those obstacles, those things that prevent you from living your dreams and reaching your goals. And I encourage you now to write down those answers. The top 3 answers to what's stopping me are time, money, and fear. And I'm going to talk a little bit about each of those things. Time. How often do we hear ourselves say, I just don't have time. I just wish there was more hours in the day. Well, what makes you think you deserve more hours in the day than the rest of us? We all have the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So what's the difference between those people who seem to get an awful lot done and those who live their lives like a duck in a shooting gallery? Can you picture this image? A duck on a single track moving back and forth until the bullet hits him. And then he moves back and bing, 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 bing. All of a sudden, you're living what I call crisis management. Time management and personal effectiveness is a little bit different. People who are good time managers and those people who seem to get an awful lot done are those who know their priorities. They've clarified their values. They can live value-driven lives. They know the roles that they are playing in their lives. They know the goals that they have for themselves, and they're mission-driven. The second thing that stops us from accomplishing our goals is money. Don't we say often, like we say with time, there just isn't enough? Well, I'd like to offer you a different perspective on how money holds us back from accomplishing our goals. There are 2 ways to have more money. One is to make more, and the other is to spend less. Now, I could do a whole workshop on how to spend less, although I may not be necessarily a good example of that. So, think about the balance in your life between production and production capability. And when those things get out of balance, that is when we find ourselves being stuck by letting money control us. We let money become the thing in our lives that has the power. Just like our calendar, just like our clock. Is your clock controlling you? Maybe money is too. And that is one of the things that holds us back. The difference between production and production capability is this. Production is your output. How much am I willing to produce, or how much am I capable of producing? Can you picture this scenario? You run your machines at top speed, maximum capacity as long as you can because your customers demand more, 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 more. And you want to give them more, 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 more. Because the more you give your customers, the more money they give you. But what happens then when the machine breaks down? All of a sudden, there's chaos. Because your machines aren't running to produce those things that your customers want. And when your customers aren't getting what they want, they don't pay you. The other side of the equation is production capability. Here's an example. My friend Sheila recently told me that her daughter bought her a digital camera for her birthday. Sheila has been studying the manual and every feature, every possible thing that the camera can do, and she has yet to take a single picture. Now Sheila is a little too focused on production capability, all of those wonderful, neat things that her camera can do, yet she hasn't yet had any output. That means that her production and production capability is out of balance. So we can look a little bit more in depth at that later. The third thing that holds us back from accomplishing our goals and dreams is fear. The age-old, I'm not good enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not short enough, I can't. Notice the language that we use with ourselves. I can't do this, I can't do that. You're having a party on Saturday, I can't come because I've got something else to do. But we program ourselves into thinking that we can't. Again, the fear is controlling me. I'm not in control of my own life, and my calendar is controlling me again. Wouldn't it be more effective to say, I would love to come to your party, but I have something else on my calendar first? Making those choices, and those choices on a daily basis, based on what you know your priorities are, that, my friends, is the secret to effective time management and personal effectiveness. Time management is not about getting to where you're going on time. However, when you're focused on all of the right things, all of those things that make us effective at managing ourselves, now we can start to talk about how we see balance in our lives, how we can make those choices a little bit easier. So then I have to ask, do you have something else on your list that doesn't fall into the category of time, money, fear, and self-doubt? Is there something else on your list that truly does not fit into one of those three obstacles? I'd love to hear from you and talk about what that is. But for the rest of us, we can all leave here today with a list of nothing that is stopping us from accomplishing our dreams.